So, welcome to another video here at Back to Classics, and today we're going to discuss this lovely 1974 Ducati 350 Desmo. Quite a remarkable project for us and something that we'd like to show you. So, just a historic background of this model. We have made many videos on Ducati singles already, so I'm sure we can link a few here right now. We did a full restoration on a 350 Desmo a few years ago, of which we also made a series of videos. So these can be viewed for more information in depth on the history of these Ducati singles. But more in general, this is the absolute last of the Ducati singles to be produced by Ducati. This is a 1974 model year with the wide case engine, of course, the Desmo cylinder head. This was the sporting model of the single range in the early 1970s. This being the 1974 and final version, it also received the Brembo front brake disc master cylinder as well. So it's the ultimate of the singles with the disc brake option compared to all other singles having the drum brake in front. So that was the final upgrade they did in 74, but that ultimately was the final version of the Ducati single when it was replaced with the parallel twin in 1975. What can we say about this particular example here? This is actually a very nice and new type of project for us because we were asked by a client, the owner of this bike, to restore it, but not to restore it in a way that we usually do, in the sense that we completely take everything apart and make everything nice and new again. That was not needed in this case. It was actually in a rather good condition, albeit with some technical issues, and the bodywork was in a dreadful red shade. And that was just a little nasty looking, not original. And so the question the client, the owner of this bike had was how to get this bike improved. And that's when he approached us to if we were able to restore his bike technically, make it completely sound and like new again, but also to leave much of the original patina with the bike and not over-restore it, so to speak, or restore what is not needed to be restored. So that's what we did in this example, and well, that's what we like to show you further, how we did that in all its details. So the owner had this bike parked in his garage, and it was at that time painted red, probably with a brush, not a very good paint job. So he was thinking how to continue with this bike. And then he found on a parts fair a set of side covers, 350 Desmo side covers, like this one, with the wear on the decal, as you can see here. And he bought that set thinking, wow, that would be very nice for my 350 Desmo. Obviously, that also only included the side covers at that point. Still, its original yellow gel coat, never painted, all original, very, very nice, but only the side covers. At that point he approached us and I said, well, wait a minute, I think we have a front mudguard, this one that's now fitted, in stock. That is an original unpainted, original gel coat mudguard specific for the 74 model year Desmo, like we discussed before with the disc brake type. So that was specific for that one. I took it from the shelf and he immediately cried out, I have to have that front mudguard, obviously, to go with the side covers. So then at least we had those covered. But at that point, of course, the steel fuel tank was still in that hideous red paint, and also the seat. So how to go further with that? And that's when we discussed with our paint shop how to make the fuel tank and the seat match the side covers and the front mudguard. And that's when we came up with a sort of a relic type of restoration. We took some inspiration from the guitar world, actually, where it is custom to have brand new guitars smashed and worked on with screwdrivers, etc., in order for them to make them appear to be worn out and original guitars from the 1950s and 60s, etc. So that we took as a sort of a inspiration for us to continue with the paint job on the fuel tank and the seat. So we took the appearance of the side covers and the front mudguard as a basis, and then we matched the color, of course, to that, but also the decals. And these decals, you have to remember, back in those days, were water slide, and they were not put under any clear coat, which is why they move about throughout the years. So that you see them cracking up like they do on the side cover. And that's what we have mimicked on the fuel tank as well. So this is newly painted with some scratches here and there, not too much of course, but we have to make it appear like it was painted back in 1974. And also the decals were cut up like they do on the side cover, as you see here. So that's what we ended up with. Obviously, same goes for the seat, although there are no decals on that, so that was a much easier job. And also the upholstery, we took care of a little worn out feel to the sky leather, as well as the stitching. And then we topped it off with parts that were not highly polished, like that taillight unit, this aluminium strip here, and of course the fuel filler cap with still the original chrome. And that makes for a complete bodywork set that is matching and we think in a very, very nice condition, showing the bike's original patina. Matching, of course, also the rest of the bike. And going further with that, we did not re-chrome the headlight, although the chrome is original and it is flaking a little bit, but we'll just leave it at that. The bike is allowed to show its age, so to speak, in this manner. But on a technical level, we did a lot to this bike. It was crooked. The frame, the rear subframe actually was twisted, so it had been in a crash at some point. So we took the bike to a alignment specialist who was able to get the frame sorted and aligned again. Obviously, front suspension was taken apart, all cleaned out, put back together again. New seals, new oil, etc. Same goes for the rear shocks, which were completely overhauled, but again, without re-chroming the springs or anything else that is appearing on the outside, just making it technically 100% functioning, but not nice and shiny as if it was new. Same goes for the wheels. These were newly balanced, which was needed, but of course we didn't take out the spokes in order to have them painted, etc. Just leave them as they are, and showing their age, now being more than 50 years old. Engine, we did a lot of work there as well. The piston was worn out, so there was too much clearance, which showed in the bike consuming a little bit of oil. So we fitted a new oversized piston and of course bored and honed the cylinder. The cylinder head was worked on, new valve seats, lapped and grinded to the original valve seats, new valve guides, so to speak, new valves, new springs, etc. So and everything, of course, newly adjusted and everything up and the way we want it. Fresh oil in there, of course, and the bike is completely finished, as you see here. The bike is running absolutely very, very nice, as we can see in a minute. But yeah, quite a remarkable project for us. This time not overdoing it and making sure that this bike is allowed to show its age and a little bit of the patina it has gathered over the years. So in order, would very much like to know what you think about the end result. We are very pleased with it, as is the owner of this bike, I'm sure. So let us know in the comments what you think of this Relic restoration. So it's lovely weather outside, so let's take this bike for a ride. Well, that's a nice Mercedes 560 SEC. That's the subject for a future video. So as you have seen, this bike rides absolutely beautiful. Very good response from the engine, good pickup, carburetor all very well adjusted. Brakes are good, suspension is good, steers very well. So I'm very, very pleased with the end result of this, this restoration project. This, of course, being a patina restoration project, if you want to call it that. There's a lot of talk about that word patina. What does it exactly mean? Like a dent in the fuel tank, is that patina or is that just damage? Anyway, we've, I think, struck a balance here between how this bike has the wear without over-restored anything else to match it like the bike was well preserved from 1974, was kept in a very original and nice condition. That shows, for instance, with little details like nuts and bolts. We didn't replace them with anything new, just make sure that the look and feel of the bike from start to finish is sort of in the same ballpark as where it belongs. While of course making sure that technically this bike is 100% as it should be. So, like I said, I am very pleased with the end result. I'm very keen to hear your thoughts on that, so please leave a comment on this restoration project. And perhaps if we should also think about other projects in this same sort of way, also making it a sort of a patina restoration or a relic, where we have to sometimes restore a fuel tank, paint it, but then also making sure that it looks as if it belongs to the rest of the bike, as we did in this case. So, very keen to hear your thoughts on that. For now, let's head back to the workshop. Now, that was a lovely ride. And not hot at all outside. Well, anyway, that concludes another project and another video here at Back to Classics. We thank you very much for watching. Toodle-dokie, see you next time.